Playing relatively conservative, and now look what he's doing.
Won that last hand with big slick, an ace-king. He has 2 drinks next to him. I guess when you're winning a poker tournament, you're allowed 2 drinks.
Okay, Deeb folds here in the big blind. Yuanda's on the button. He's got a little Mo working his way, Vince.
Yeah, the momentum at the right time.
All right.
He's raising.
Here he comes. 110,000. He bets on the button.
John Yuanda opens a pot for 110,000.
Now here's Gus Hansen in the small blind. Now this doesn't look like a very good hand here, but he looks like he's thinking about doing something with it. He is. Look at this, Vince.
Gus calls 110,000.
This is the gutsiest player I've ever seen. I mean, he just calls.
Look what he has, a king-7 offsuit, calling a $110,000 raise.
10-8 deuce with 2 hearts.
This flop certainly doesn't help either player. See what happens. Hansen checks. Yuanda staring him down.
John Yuanda checks.
And Yuanda checks.
10-9-8 deuce.
A 9 comes on the turn. Now that gives Gus an open-end straight. It gives Yuanda a belly buster straight, but Yuanda still has the best hand with king-queen. But Gus is first to speak here. Look at this. Gus is betting at this pot.
Gus bets 120,000.
He bet 120,000. Now he has put Yuanda to a test here. Yuanda's got king-queen, but a belly buster straight doesn't seem that attractive when you're staring at a $120,000 bet, does it, Vince?
Well, although if a jack does come up, you lock him out. You got to, he knows Gus isn't that strong.
Call.
John Yuanda calls 120,000.
He called 120. He didn't raise it. He just called 120,000 with king high. Here comes the river.
There you go.
And a king comes at the river. Oh, wow. Now this card helps both players. It gives both of them the top pair. The difference is Yuanda's got a queen kicker. This is pretty amazing. And now it's up to Gus because that card helped him too. So he might get punished because of it. Now he's sitting back, scratching his head, crossing his arms. He knows the card helped him. The question is, was Yuanda trapping him on the turn when the 9 came off there?
Well, that's real scary for Gus to bet.
He bet on 4th Street hoping to pick up the pot. He got called. Now when you get called and you're looking at 10-9-8, it's a little scary because there's a lot of straight possibilities, man.
Absolutely.
Here he goes. He's betting at this pot, though.
He doesn't care. This guy plays 9-7 offsuit.
He bet 140,000. Yuanda's quickly calling him. He's not even hesitating.
John Yuanda calls.
1 pair of kings.
Gus says a pair of kings.
Says a pair of kings. Yuanda's waiting to see the kicker. And he shows a better kicker. He shows the queen high kicker.
John Yuanda wins the pot with king queen and becomes our new tournament leader.
Wow, what a pop that was for Yuanda to call that bet on 4th Street with just king high. Pretty impressive bet, I thought, by Hansen on 4th Street. I love that bet. I was surprised by Yuanda's call on 4th Street. He made a great call, hit a king at the river, paid him off, won a nice pot, $764,000. Yuanda is on the move. I think Yuanda just took the lead with that last pot. Give us a chip count, Vince.
Yes, he has taken the lead. He has about approximately 1.3 million. Second place now is Gus, and he's down to about 1.1. And Kasim is just very quietly sitting there with about $400 measly thousand.
Hansen folds on the button this time. Now look at Deeb. He's got ace-king. We know he's going to play this pot.
Kasim calls 15,000 more.
Look, he just limps in. He just calls in the small blind with ace-king.
Yeah, it shows the sneakiness of these players.
Look, they're going eyeball to eyeball right there.
And Kasim and John are going to take a flop here.
Deeb is slow playing ace-king here. Let's see if it comes back to help him.
The flop comes king 6-5 with 2 diamonds.
This is a perfect flop for Deeb. He checks in the dark. Now Yuanda, who's flopped top pair himself here,
John bets 70,000.
comes out betting 70,000.
Now look at the acting job by Freddie Deeb.
Yep. He's going for the Oscar this hand.
He's so relaxed. Squint to the eyes there.
We know he's playing.
I go all in.
He goes all in.
Oh, there he goes.
He says he's going all in. He has check raised with the ace-king. He slow played this ace-king. He's trying to double up. He wasn't trying to just pick up the blinds. He wants to get back in the hunt. Now he's put the test of Uwanda. Now you're sitting there in Uwanda seat, and you got 2 kings in this spot.
With a bad kicker.
Now, Deeb could have a straight draw. He could have a flush draw. He could have a 6.
I call.
Uwanda calls him. Uwanda thinks he's on a draw. He's not. He's got ace-king.
We've got ace-king.
Look at Uwanda. He's got king-7.
Ace-king against king-7.
Deeb has played this spot masterfully. Now let's see if he can win it. He's got to dodge a 7 right here or a possible straight draw.
Turn is a 9.
I need a 7, 8.
A straight draw comes up a 9. In other words, Freddie can lose this pot if a 7 or an 8
It's a
comes up.
queen.
It doesn't. A queen comes off at the river. Deeb has doubled up.
He slow played. He trapped him.
He put the Oscar award on him. He did it all in that same hand.
He really did. He really did.
Folks, that's as good as you can play poker, the way Deeb played that hand right there. Maximum result. Any one of these 3 guys has a great chance to win this tournament. This is going to be an exciting finish. The momentum has now switched to Deeb. It was at Uwanda. Now it's at Deeb. Let's see what happens here.
Kasim raises on the button, makes it 80,000 total.
And here comes Kasim raising on the button with the 6-3 offsuit. Now, you think he's feeling his oats because he doubled up the last pot?
Gus calls the 80,000.
Oh, he sure is. He's got a little momentum. 6-3 of hearts.
Uwanda folds, and Hansen calls.
Flop comes king-4 deuce.
Deeb has flopped a gut shot straight draw. Gus has nothing.
Look at Kasim studying his rival.
80,000 bet by Gus.
Here comes Gus betting out with nothing again.
Kasim calls the 80,000.
And look at this. Deeb beats him in the pot with a gut shot straight draw.
7 of hearts on the turn.
Now look at this. They both got a flush draw.
And Deeb has an inside straight draw on top of it.
Gus has the best hand with a queen high. Be interesting to see who's going to bet this hand.
Checking.
Gus checks.
Now Deeb's sitting there. He's got a gut shot straight draw and a flush draw.
Check.
Kasim checks.
He didn't bet this hand. He checked on 4th Street. A queen comes at the river, making Gus have 2 queens and the best hand. And there's no way Deeb can win this pot unless he bluffs at it. We've got our same battle going between these 2 that we've had the whole tournament so far.
Gus bets 80,000.
Now 80,000 into this pot is a pretty unusually small bet here. So now Deeb, who has nothing, may be wondering if he raises him back, if he can take the pot away from him. He's counting his chips out like he's going to raise it, but
He's raising.
he's raising this pot with nothing.
With absolutely nothing. What a raise.
He's raising 170,000.
$250,000 on a stone bluff. Now put yourself in Hansen's shoes. Now Gus is in a position here. He's playing this hand back over in his mind. He's thinking, if the guy had 2 kings, why did he check it on 4th Street? If he just had 1 pair, wouldn't he just call me at the river? So in his mind, Deeb has flopped a monster hand or he's on a stone bluff. This is what he's got to figure out.
Now don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the House of Pain on the World Poker Tour. We are watching Kasim Deeb pray as he desperately bluffs Gus Hansen.
Look at Gus Hansen here. He's really got a tough call. He's got the best hand, but I promise you, when you're sitting in that seat looking at a 270,000 staring you in the face, your 2 queens don't look too good.
I just can't believe the courage of Kasim to raise this when he Didn't catch anything.
Believe me, Kasim's got a lot of heart. I told you if he's got chips, he's a player. He is a poker player.
And he calls.
And he's calling. And he wins the pot. He says, you win, but look how Deeb shoots his eyes over there to see what he's got. He's very curious as to what he's got, and he's stunned right now. I mean, I'm telling you, he is stunned looking at that hand.
Queens are good.
He knows he let out and bet on the flop with nothing. He knows he gave him a free card on 4th Street. He knows he check-raised it and can't believe the guy called him with just 2 queens and a 5 kicker. What a call Hansen made. You got to take his hat off to him. He took his time. He analyzed that play, how the betting went on that pot. He paid him off for 2 queens there. Vince, I think it was a great call. It really was.
Well, he was obviously outplayed. He just Gus played it brilliantly all the way because Kasim made an interesting play too. These guys have been going toe-to-toe all afternoon, and the momentum has shifted back again only after 1 hand. Just when you think Kasim is in, he seems to be out.
Gus is on the button again here.
He has a pretty good hand, 10 queen off suit, but he's on the button. You got to figure he's going to raise this a little bit.
Raise it.
And he is going to come in and play this pot.
Gus raises a pot 90,000.
He comes in for 90,000 on the button. And look at this. Deeb has picked up a monster. He's picked up ace-king in the blind. This is the hand Deeb's been waiting on.
And he wants to get Gus back real bad.
I'll go all in.
He's gone all in.
He's chomping at the bit.
Yuanda folds, and now Gus is up to another decision here. Now it's going to cost Gus about $250,000 to call this raise.
You know, I think the interesting thing is that Gus doesn't really have much of a hand, but I think he may just call because he just wants to shove it in his face.
Gus calls. We got a pot.
Well, it's ace-king against queen-10. Ace-king against queen-10 means Freddie Deeb is about a 2.5 to 1 favorite in this pot.
Queen,
And the flop comes ace-queen-queen.
Tremendous for Gus.
Gus has flopped 3 queens. Freddie Deeb needs an ace. The jack comes off on the turn. Doesn't matter. Deeb needs an ace to stay alive in this tournament.
You need an ace.
A deuce comes off. Freddie Deeb has been outdrawn. He's out of this tournament in 3rd place. A good sport. He shakes Gus's hand.
Gus has won that duel. Look at him.
That's the 3rd time Deeb has got his money in a big favored position, and he's lost 3 times in that spot. Now, that's tough to take.
Great effort by Kasim. Went in with the better hand.
Kasim played great poker. I'm telling you, he played very unlucky on 3 or 4 hands today, or he'd have had all the chips. It just shows you timing is everything, Vince.
Tell me about the caliber of player at the final table.
Well, the guy that won the last hand from me, he played very bad, in my opinion. I would like to play this game with him every day for the rest of my life. If he plays like that, he could never beat me in the long run.
Day 1 of the Bellagio 5-Diamond World Poker Classic, 146 players began, and on day 4, they were down to 6. Scotty Wynn was the first to go, then Chris Bigler and John Hennigan. Finally, Kasim Deeb was eliminated by unlucky cards. That means the last 2 players, John Yuanda and Gus Hansen, remain to duke it out for the title.
Well, we're down to the final 2, but before we continue, the Director of Poker Operations at the Bellagio, Doug Dalton, is leading a procession of beauties and nearly $1 million in cash out on a silver platter to put right on the table so these players can see the cold, hard cash, Vince.
Yeah, this is going to make them really excited. Almost $1 million wrapped up in rubber bands, put on that table, makes it become even more of a reality.
Now, this is exciting. That's a lot of money, a lot of cash. And this time they're really playing for that cash. The difference in one pile and the other pile.
I've never seen that much money before in my life.
And that's the beauty of poker. It's a cash business.
Yeah.
These guys are like 30 years old. The winner of this is going to get nearly $600,000. Don't feel too bad for the loser. He's going to get over $286,000. Well, how sweet is life at 30 years old when you pick up a $500,000 so easy?
It's not bad at all.
Okay, we're back to the action. We've got the cash on the table, the trophy on the table, and the final two participants in the 5-Diamond World Poker Classic. Antes are 3,000, blinds are 15 and 30,000, and now we're going to do battle. The money's out there, the cash is big, but the truth is money comes and goes. These guys want to win that title, that trophy, that spot in poker history. And here we go. Yuanda inherits the button. Now, the big blind is always in front of the button, so the small blind that's on the button will have to act first. Okay, here comes John Yuanda. He's going to be the first to speak. He's going to limp in on the button. He's got 7-8. Now, here's Gus in the big blind.
Notice Gus didn't even look at his own cards until Johnny had raised.
He's going to raise. He's raising with the ace high, playing heads up. Yuanda limped in on the button. Sensing weakness, Hansen raises. Now it looks like he's getting out chips. He may want to take a flop with this hand. He's got a 7-8. He's got position. This is bet 60,000. Sure enough, Yuanda's going to see a flop. He calls him. Here's the flop. And the flop comes ace-ace-3. Hansen has flopped 3 aces in this pot. Now he's thrilled with this flop. What's going through his mind now, Vince, is how do I play this to get the maximum return on my money? Should he lead out? Should he check? Should he trap?
I would expect a check from him, so maybe he can trap him into Johnny Yuanda into betting.
He's leading out. He's betting this hand. He's flopped 3 aces and betting. He only bet 30,000, a very small bet into that pot. Yuanda quickly folds because he had nothing. But I find that pretty interesting that he bet that hand.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that, too. Maybe he wants the perception of that no matter what, he's not going to slow play. Maybe he's setting him up that way.
Well, what's interesting about this is, out of the 4 players have been eliminated, Gus Hansen has knocked out 3 of them. Yuanda has knocked out 1. So between them, they've knocked out every player at the final table. And now they're going to come down to see who knocks each other out. Gus inherits the button. And here we go. Whoa, look at this. Hansen has picked up 2 kings on the button, playing heads up. Just a monster. And he raises the pot up to 95,000. He comes in for 95,000.
Well, that's huge. A huge hand, and he doesn't play it sneaky.
But now look at Yuanda. He's got ace-jack. He also has a big hand playing heads up. This is going to be interesting to see what happens. Gus has raised this pot. He didn't slow play the kings. The question is Yuanda going to call or play back over the top? He's thinking about what to do. I don't think there's any chance he's going to fold.
Gus keeping his eyes down, doesn't want to give many tells.
No, but I guarantee you one thing. He's hoping he does something like raising back right here when he's staring at 2 kings.
Raise.
Gus has got to love this. Look at Gus looking at him. Look. I guarantee you inside he's jumping with glee right here.
They're playing for some big stakes. The difference between first and second is about $280,000 difference. And the championship title here. Don't want to make a mistake.
I'm all in.
Gus re-raises all in 1 second. He didn't wait 1 moment. He just moved all in quickly. Whoa.
He's got to figure he's in front.
I mean, he didn't even hesitate. He didn't try to trap him. He didn't do nothing. He just said he was all in. Just quickly put all his chips in the pot. And now Yuanda has got to figure out, is he bluffing me, putting the move back on the top of me? Now, at this stage, Yuanda still has well over 800,000 left. So he's got plenty of chips to play the tournament if he folds this hand. But if he calls and loses, he's out of the tournament. Now, Yuanda's got a tough decision here. He's seen a lot of bluffing by Gus. He's got a hand that's not so bad. It's normally a good hand heads up.
I call.
Looks like he's going for it.
John Yuanda calls and goes all in.
Gus has set him up earlier with having junk all the time that he almost has to call.
He said he's calling. Tournament Director Jack McClellan is counting out the chips.
God,
Here we go.
This is happening really fast. I never expected it.
Gus feels good right now. We thought it might last a long, long time. It took us forever before we lost one player. And now when we get heads up, it's only going to take 2 pots. The tournament could be over unless John Uwanda gets lucky and outdraws Gus Hansen in this pot.
Johnny Uwanda smiling. Will he still be smiling after he sees Hansen's cards here?
If Gus wins, he's the champion. If John wins, he's got the chip lead.
Look at that look on Uwanda. Oh, no. Powerful blow to the stomach for Uwanda.
John knows he's overplayed this hand now. He's got ace-jack. He's up against 2 kings. Gus is about a 70% favorite to win this pot. Boom, he flops the top set. It comes king 10-4.
Gus way in front.
But now Uwanda can catch a queen to win this pot.
That's true, an inside straight draw.
He's got 4 cards to catch to win this pot. Here we go, a 5 comes off. He needs a queen. He's a major underdog right now. Otherwise, Hansen will be the tournament champion. The river is a 7.
Not gonna do it.
Gus Hansen has won this tournament.
He had to sweat it out.
Gus Hansen played magnificent poker.
Gus Hansen from Copenhagen, Denmark's our champion. Runner-up, John Uwanda.
A dramatic finish to this great tournament that we've had. Gus Hansen wins the 5-diamond World Poker Classic here at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. Fantastic performance by him. He's won an entry into the World Poker Tour's championship event. He's feeling about as good as you can feel right now, Vince.
Man, this is every poker player's dream. You have a pair of kings and you flop a set and you win this kind of money. He wins $556,000.
Champagne to the winners.
Our Director of Poker Operations here at the Bellagio, Doug Dalton, is going to present the trophy to Gus Hansen now.
Gus, congratulations on being the first winner at Bellagio 5-diamond World Poker Classic.
Thanks a lot. It was a great tournament, and well, I'm just happy to win it.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Fantastic event, fantastic day of poker. We're looking forward to the poker season coming up, Vince. What a great game.
Yeah.
And this is just the first event of an international series of tournaments on the World Poker Tour.
So be sure to come back next week and every week until the World Poker Tour Championship. We'll see you there.